Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Wow. So much going on. Corey Johnson with you. What a gorgeous day in New Orleans right now. Just absolutely tough to beat. It really is. It's hard to beat this kind of weather in New Orleans when we get this kind of stuff. Just outstanding. Blue skies, sunny. I just said that, Drew Brees, number 9. Hard to beat New Orleans. We know it's New Orleans. You first ballot NFL Hall of Famer, you. No, it really is. Not to be repetitive, but did I say gorgeous day, blue skies, and sunny? It's like 80 degrees. I'm going to guess humidity, Mario. What are you going with? I'm going with the old 45%er. What are you going with?
Probably like 40, a little lower.
Wow, you're going lower than me.
Yeah, it feels okay, I think.
That's 63%.
Okay.
We're both a little below. But I'm closer, so I win the Showcase Showdown. You get what behind curtain number 2. It's some cinder blocks and a wheelbarrow. Oh, boy. Monday afternoon edition of the program. That is Mario Brothers. He's got on his 2019 champion. There's only one Death Valley t-shirt. Mario, that seems like a knockoff t-shirt to me.
No, it's not. It's home field.
Yeah, I know that. I don't think it's like registered there's no LSU. There's no Tigers. I think it's a knockoff t-shirt.
I think you're wrong. I don't see the logo or anything.
No, I don't see anything on it. 2019 champions of what? Doesn't say NCAA. Doesn't even say football. There's only one Death Valley. I think that's some t-shirt maker just printed those up, and it's not official garb.
Possibly. I still like the shirt though.
I like it a lot. It's really cool. Who cares if it's official garb or not?
It's been a tough year, but at least we beat Clemson, so shirt still stands a little bit.
At least we beat Clemson.
Yeah.
In Arkansas that fired their coach, and South Carolina that's under 500. No quality wins. La Tech exposed LSU for the rest of the country.
Yeah.
Play that, 3-man front. You don't need to rush 4 or blitz.
No, exactly.
They can't run the ball. And their QB can't throw it deep, really.
All due respect to them in Southeastern. If you couldn't run the ball against them, you probably wouldn't be able to run the ball against, better opponents.
I think La Tech paid like a 3.52 or 3.53 or whatever defense, and that kind of everybody started following suit after that.
Nope, no secret.
Nope. LSU, what were they leading? 18-16 at the half?
18-14, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
2 or 4 point lead at the half.
Yeah.
And then total implosion, 35 unanswered points by Texas A&M. Very, very similar, eerily similar to last year. Eerily similar to last year, where LSU and A&M were playing a football contest, a Southeastern Conference bloodbath. And then in the second half, LSU didn't show up, and Texas A&M turned on the gas 2 years in a row. LSU head football coach Brian Kelly fired yesterday afternoon. About 24 hours ago today, LSU head football coach Brian Kelly fired. Done after 3.5 seasons, below 500 on the road, around 35% versus the top 25. 5-11 versus the top 25? Not 11-5, 5-11. The opposite of what you want. Mario Brothers, 2 things stood out that sealed Brian Kelly's fate. These are the straws that broke the camel's back. One of them was over this whole season. Got this great offensive line. Got the best team I've ever assembled as a coach. Everything's fine. Blowing up on Cobble with the, questioning the running game or lack thereof. Is Nussmeier healthy? Has a meltdown. Just a lot of promises made. You know, this last week, a major one made. You remember, just an absurd one. You know, we're trying to figure out why we don't have the eye of the tiger. We're trying to figure out why we're not just proactive and aggressive. And we figured it out. You'll see a difference this week. No difference. Nothing. It's like, wow, what did you figure out? You know, I think all the promises made this year, Mario, coupled with this, I think really blew it up. During the A&M game, just yelling at coaches and yelling at players like you've lost it, you're losing it mentally, attacking players and coaches, and you've lost the team maybe.
Sound like familiar criticisms there, huh? But either way, man, I think like he football-wise, like you said, just totally misevaluated his own team, called a shot with the offensive line, thought they were going to be good, and that's the biggest weakness with the team right now, his own baby. And number two, there's a lot of people, I implore you to ask your future guests coming on the show today about this, saying that he was really checked out, like going on vacations during the bye week and during critical recruiting
I heard
times.
a lot of golf rounds like they say about Trump or Obama, too much golf.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe.
Apparently that's a big reason why, they were finally willing to cut the check and let him go, despite the fact they had to pay him all this money to not coach like they still are doing to Coach O as well.
You know what blows me away, Mario Brothers? I mean, this is just common sense to me, and no sports people talk about it, and it's mind-boggling to me. This $19 million spent on the transfer portal, essentially.
Yes.
How many transfer portal players they bring in? It was like the number one class. It was like 20 players or something.
It was like a top 2 rated class.
Yeah. And then like they get like 6 or 7 starters out of the transfer portal. That's a problem. That's not a plus.
Exactly.
Okay. The transfer portal for like Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama, the great teams. Wow. We had a guard on the O-line. He got injured. The backup guy didn't materialize. Our third string guy transferred.
Exactly.
So they go to the transfer portal to bring in a starting guard. And that's like the one starter out of the transfer portal. Might bring in a couple other players that are backups because they were lacking some depth. You don't bring in 6, 7 starters out of the transfer portal. You don't have to spend tens of millions of dollars on transfer portal players. That tells you in year 4, not year 1, fine in year 1 when you got 39 scholarship players from the old regime. Year 4, you're supposed to have depth like Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State. That's a major blunder to me that, it was only looked at as a positive. Got the number 1 transfer portal class. First off, he was blowing it off for years, not getting any transfer portal guys worth a damn.
Yes.
And remember last year, I think one was from Wisconsin, one was from like Austin P. They started on the D line. That's a problem.
No, 100%.
So the transfer portal thing really wasn't a positive. It was a negative. It shows you weren't recruiting like you should have been, filling the vital holes the last few years.
Yeah, I agree big time with your final point. They weren't utilizing it enough leading up to this season, but now it's kind of gone overboard, and that's not how you want to live in college football. Like a place like Ole Miss, Indiana, that's the kind of programs that should live off the transfer portal, and that's why they're good in the modern day. LSU should use the transfer portal as a supplement, but you got to have depth. You still have to have that recruiting base, and LSU has not had that under Brian Kelly.
110%, Mario, and no one's really mentioned that. And that is so accurate what you just said. It's a supplement. It shouldn't be your recruiting base.
Exactly.
And they had to go to that to fill a bunch of holes. And then all of a sudden it's my best roster.
Yes.
These guys have been on your team for 3 months.
They're trying to fix the entire side of the football like they did with the defense.
Yep.
The whole point of bringing in Brian Kelly was to provide stability.
Yep.
But his core, and we could talk all day about the culture and him going to the beach and all this stuff, but football wise, like I said, he misevaluated his own team. And just like Coach O before him, he made bad coordinator hires. Joe Sloan was a bad coordinator hire. Matt House was a bad coordinator hire. Bill Polian never belonged at LSU from the start. That was a freaking disaster his first season. Like that's really what did him in at LSU.
Yeah, no. And then getting rid of like Tommy Moffitt and Corey Raymond in the beginning and having to bring Corey Raymond back and just silly stuff like that.
Yes. As disappointed as every LSU fan was on Saturday, I think a lot of them deep down were a little bit happy for Tommy Moffitt, like dancing on Brian Kelly's
there's no
grave.
doubt they love Tommy Moffitt.
Yeah.
That was a major mistake. Pat Henry, the track coach.
Yeah.
He's got the most national championships in the history of college.
It wasn't
and
even,
they let him go to A&M. And what's he done there? Win national championships.
And with Moffitt and Raymond, it wasn't just the fact that he let him go. I was in Baton Rouge doing radio when all this happened. Like the way he let them go.
No, it was just no talk, no nothing.
Yeah.
And then Frank Wilson was in limbo before he finally kept him.
Exactly.
Probably because the pressure was, dude, you're letting all these guys go that can only help you get acclimated with what's going on down here. You're not from New Orleans. You're not from Baton Rouge. You're not from Louisiana.
Exactly. And he's the head coach. He has full autonomy. If he wants to make some changes, that's on him. But he could have handled that situation a little better and set the tone better from the start. He did not do that.
About 800, maybe we're at about 900,000 folks have checked out this Twitter post. More than, I've never gotten over 100,000, much less nearly 1 million folks checking out a post. Yeah, essentially, and these are multiple sources I've talked to that know the LSU athletic department. They know the LSU board of supervisors. It's a done deal with Brian Kelly's buyout. It isn't signed. It's not I's, dotted, T's crossed. Lawyers need to come in. Agent needs to come in, things of that nature. But the quote that best represents the buyout, it's at like $53 million reportedly. My source quote said he's taking a 60% haircut and got other folks to essentially back it. 20 to 25 million. I posted $20 million as the buyout, and not 53, but it's more like about 20 to 25, somewhere in that price range. The moral turpitude part of the contract, the moral clause, was enacted, implemented, used by LSU to work Brian Kelly down to a more manageable amount, I guess. Head football coach Brian Kelly fired after 3.5 seasons. The buyout's essentially done as well. They'll be announcing it in the next few days, and it's somewhere in a $20 to $25 million range, like less than half of what it was reported to be at $53 million, negotiated down. Jimmy Ott, Baton Rouge radio host for 30 plus years, 35 plus years, joins us next. Charlie Hennegriff, 30 years in Baton Rouge radio as well. In a few minutes, stick around.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
You're on the neutral ground
You can act like a man. What's the matter with you?
with Corey Johnson.
Thank you and welcome back. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday afternoon. Let's head to Slidell. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. Jimmy Ott is about a minute away. Longtime Baton Rouge radio talk host, like since the late 80s, literally. Charlie Hennegriff, another Baton Rouge longtime talk radio host, about 15 minutes away. LSU fires former head football coach Brian Kelly. Or I should say fires head football coach Brian Kelly. Now he's the former coach. Ronnie in Slidell joins us on the program. What up, Ronald?
What's up, Corey?
What you say, man? Uh-oh. Ronnie, call us back. That was a major accident by Mario Brothers. What the hell, Mario?
That's my bad. I didn't think that would hang
All
up
right,
on
let's get Jimmy Ott on, and then we'll get Ronnie after Jimmy Ott.
Good call, Ronnie.
Sorry about that, Ronnie. We didn't mean to cut you off. That ain't right. That was on Mario Brothers. We're blaming him, and we're docking him a day's pay for napping on the job. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. Yeah, I can't wait to get Jimmy Ott on because he'll have a good take on all of this. And Charlie Hennegriff. LSU firing head football coach Brian Kelly after 3.5 seasons. I mean, you can just look at the macro stuff. Like Scott Woodward said, hiring this guy to go to SEC championship games and play for national championships and win national championships. And they played in an SEC championship game, but hasn't won any SEC titles, hasn't made the playoffs, nowhere near a national championship game. And that's from Scott Woodward. You throw in the below 500 on the road, hard to believe. 5-11, not 11-5, 5-11 versus the top 25. It makes a lot of sense. I think you throw in the promises made this year, including this week, like we solved a major problem. You'll see it. Coupled with this particular game, second year in a row, getting ripped by A&M in the second half, and then yelling at coaches and players, sort of losing the team. I think it all culminated in yesterday's firing. Jimmy Ott has been doing talk radio in Baton Rouge since the late 80s. I live vicariously through Jimmy because he lives at the University Club in Baton Rouge, and I want to play on that golf course all the time, and he lives on it. And I also live vicariously through Jimmy because I see him in great outfits with a bunch of buddies. They're in great outfits. They're out at Santa Anita or somewhere at the track, getting ready to have a great afternoon. And then I'll see photos of them eating a great dinner somewhere in California. And I'm like, I live vicariously through Jimmy Ott. What up, Jimmy?
Where the surf meets the turf, baby. Del Mar, California.
Wow,
It's
my
like
bad.
heaven. I mean, if I can get out this oven in mid-July to early August and go to 73 degrees and sunny every day, I'm sorry, I'm in.
No, and
I don't want to be in California asking to get the surfing off for a football game in the football season. Okay, I want to be in the deep South for football, but for Del Mar opening day and season, I'm there, baby, until they put me 6 feet under.
plus you're getting paid to do it. How can you beat that?
It's had me a crazy day. Crazy day. This is a big surprise for me, Corey. Look, I understand fan unrest does not necessarily equate into jobs or lack of job security. Man, it seems like the fans made this decision today. This was hurried. This is at a time where we don't know what the future of the acting AD is. We don't know what the future of. We have a great idea who they will announce as their new president next week, but you have an interim president at the university right now. It's the chalk is Roos, the guy, the president from McNeese State. But that has to be a 10 out of 16 vote from the board, next week. So, and after that, I mean, they made this move really without a guy in mind, without who's going to make it in mind. This is LSU and Brian Kelly were attached, good or bad, for a long time because of that long-term deal. Now, you leaned on the LSU supporters. I'm talking about the money people, whether it's a guy that's got the big money people or the guy that's got 4 tickets in the suite level or the club level that you leaned on for 20 or 25 grand this year for player budget. That's a lot of them cats are out this year if it was Brian Kelly. So that's part of it. I have my doubts whether Brian Kelly could reverse this trend next year. And they're going to lose some more games this year. But, man, he thought he had it. I thought they had it. I said, I mean, if you want to win the Week 1 national championship, the Labor Day weekend, LSU did. There was not a more impressive team. We oversold on Clemson. That's hard to do with so much coming back. But so we're at fault as well for diving into the deep end head first. But I'm really surprised. I'm in town doing shows at Caesar Sportsbook in New Orleans on the Sunday show. Myself, Rohan Davey, and Charlie Hannegriff. And I mean, we took a little poll on our show yesterday. End of the season, are they going to make a move? Rohan said no. I said no. Charlie said yes. But that day, yesterday, I mean, this is a surprise, man. A big surprise. LSU's a great job, but man, you just wonder. I mean, you're going to have to pay the next guy. Now, I have gotten a little bit of information. Who knows what's going on and stuff. And I don't want to hear about the Brian Kelly being an a-hole type of stories right now. No bigger a-hole than Nick Saban, the best that's ever come through there. Okay. I don't want to hear about a fit because there's no worse fit than Nick Saban at Baton Rouge. And he's the best that's ever going through there. So I don't want to hear, you get these conveniently now that they've made the move on this, but to be just in so many words, I'm very, very surprised, Corey.
Hey, Jimmy, are you believing Scott Woodward when he says after the A&M game, I made the decision? I don't think it was Scott Woodward's decision to make by himself. I don't think he has full autonomy, especially without a president. And I think Jeff Landry didn't get involved to sit there and watch it on the sideline.
Scott Woodward gave Jimbo a big deal at A&M. He did not give him the extension. That was current Ohio State athletic director Ross Bjork, who went from Ole Miss to A&M and then now is at Ohio State. But he gets linked to it. That's for damn sure. And They had to pay. I mean, Scott Woodward's on the hook for $130 million. The last 2 coaches he hired. That's the perception, and a lot of this perception is reality. Look, man, give me Scott Woodward over Joe Oliva any day. I mean, please. But
he didn't make the decision, though, by himself, right, Jimmy?
I don't think so. I did tell you, Corey, I'm getting conflicting reports. I'm getting conflicting information on that as of now. So some say he did it without the board's approval. Some say, no, of course not. He did. So we're still just trying to decipher all this stuff right now. So I'll be honest, I'm getting conflicting reports on that. But no, I would be very surprised if Scott, who's worried about his own self-preservation with the athletic director's office. Some believe he's got a shot to keep it. Some believe he's gone. But I can't see that he's pretty sharp in self-preservation. And I got to believe he's not making this move without consulting with some people that are going to decide whether he stays on as AD or not. I can't believe he did that on his own. So he's got an issue of release. He's the guy. He's the heavy. He's so. But it's just I mean, man, LSU. We don't have A&M and Texas money. We just don't. But they seem to find it, man, when they're upset. But I've never seen a situation where fan unrest and fan disapproval, equated into, the coach's job security. I've never seen this type of example before, and I'm learning. Now Kiffin's out. He's going to go to the playoff now. Now they got, with the road win at Oklahoma, they have cushion. They got a game to lose. They're still going to get there. And, man, doing things at Ole Miss that hadn't been done since the early 60s and Johnny Vaught, okay? I mean, so he's the obvious choice, but there's all kinds of jobs open right now, and Jimmy Sexton's going to play it. They're trying to re-sign him, extend him in Oxford right now. He's keeping him at arm's length right now because Sexton knows he's got all the leverage in the world, but I don't know if that ship may have sailed.
Yep.
His people told him, said, man, when they're hiring Kelly, I got the purple tie picked out. I'm ready to come. Not so sure right now.
Yeah, and I also think Lane Kiffin, the money's not going to be that different. It's not like LSU is going to give him $5 million more a year. That's yesteryear. They're going to be close in salary. LSU is probably an easier place to recruit and win, obviously, but he's getting it done in Ole Miss, so he may stay put. He may leave. Who knows? But Jimmy, that's a good point. Like the next coach, and you brought it up earlier. It's almost like ready, fire, aim. We're LSU. We're the most coveted job in college football, arguably. We'll go get a great coach, but they don't have an answer. They fired the coach without having a guy they can go get immediately to fill that position, right? I mean, it's not, unless it's Jimbo Fisher, and I don't think that would go over well.
No, that's not happening. The LSU job, and listen, and Lane has and listen, to LSU and hiring Kelly's defense, the rules have changed since they hired him. Okay. I mean, it just, they have, with the transfer portal and the pay for play. Lane whines about it more than anybody, but he's
good at it.
Out on Ole Miss, giving him those people aren't used to giving money for the football program. He is getting it. I mean, he's getting every dollar out of Ole Miss boosters that Brian Kelly was out of LSU boosters. LSU is only one of two schools in the history of college football to have three straight coaches win a national championship. The University of Miami is the only other one.
Wow.
There's a lot of schools, you get the right guy, you can win. With LSU, you don't necessarily need the right guy. There's a big difference between Nick Saban, Ed Orgeron, and Les Miles.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's a great job. I can get an argument for any job minus Ohio State, any job of that, and it's a great job. But man, if you go get an established coach, you're gonna give an 8 to 10 year deal again with no buyout.
Yep.
And the other thing is, but I'm hearing some early information that they may want an up and comer. My boy right here, uptown New Orleans, got a shot. He is in the mix.
Yeah, no doubt. Jimmy, always a pleasure, man, and happy birthday, brother.
Oh, man. Thank you, Corey. You're the best, baby. Appreciate it.
Yep. Jimmy Ott, Baton Rouge radio host for 35 plus years. Birthday boy. His sidekick, Charles Hennegriff, Baton Rouge Talk Radio, joins us next. Stick around. Brian Kelly fired.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex, there's something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Simlawn artificial turf custom golf putting greens. Beautiful, functional, zero maintenance. Call New Orleans' own LGD Lawn and Landscapes and get your free estimate.
South Shore residents that love good food are making the short trip across the lake to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. North Shore folks have known about Gallagher's 527 for years. Now the South Shore has discovered this hidden gem. One of the metro area's best restaurants is less than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
90 minutes of fun.
I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you?
Every weekday afternoon on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333 from 4 p.m. to 5:30.
Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson back at you. Thanks so much for joining us on the radio, on TV all over the state. Cox Channel 4, Spectrum Channel 333. We're on YouTube, The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson. Click to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're live on X right now. Twitter, follow me at Corey Johnson. This guy's been doing sports talk radio almost as long as Jimmy Ott. Jimmy Ott's like 35 years. More than that. Late 80s, like 36, 37 years. I'm going to guess Charlie Henegriff about 30 years at this. How you doing, Charlie?
37, but who's counting?
Wow. I knew it was a long, long time.
37 in radio, 34 in this. So
Mario Brothers. I'm covering some game, LSU in a bowl in Atlanta, and Charlie and I think Jimmy Ott were having lunch somewhere, and I was just talking to Jimmy, and Charlie was just sort of listening at that time, not really. And I did a Buddy D imitation. I remember Charlie just peeing in his pants laughing. I was like, wow, I got Charlie Henegriff laughing. The strange things we remember, Charlie.
Yeah, I had forgotten that one.
That was funny, man. You were laughing like crazy. We were covering LSU and maybe an SEC championship game in Atlanta, I think, and we just happened to.
I'll tell you this quick one. The first time I really got to spend any time with Buddy D was he came down when Tulane was really good in baseball, and that rivalry with LSU. And Buddy D came down to do his show, and he pretty much held court with the media there. This was in the late 90s or whatever. And just to say some of the stories he told, I peeing my pants funny. That was a fun afternoon listening to Buddy tell stories.
I bet. Hey, Charlie, what were you thinking yesterday afternoon when all of this went down?
Corey, it changed so quick. We asked on Friday, about the game and what we thought would happen, and none of us, came up with Brian Kelly's coaching for his job on Saturday, and I didn't think he was coaching for his job, and I didn't think at halftime that, in any way how the second half could possibly turn out, that we would be having that conversation, and then in about 35 minutes of real time, the roof caved in on LSU, and it's like, hang on a second, we went from, is Kelly going to win this game or not? Is he going to make it at the end of the season? Who is he going to make it to Monday? And that's, I guess, just how it goes now. James Franklin can tell his story. But what I was thinking was, I can't believe how rapidly things change now for a college football program of the stature of LSU or Penn State. Man, this is unprecedented.
No, I think you're right on the money on both points. How quickly it changed, and also I don't think Saturday was like, for his job or not, but it turned into it, Charlie, because it was basically a rinse and repeat of last year. The first half, kind of a competitive game, SEC, battle. Second half, for the second year in a row, A&M just ripping LSU. I think that, Charlie, the yelling at coaches and players during the game, coupled with an entire year of promises that weren't met. Like, he wasn't just saying, yeah, we might have a chance, where he was saying definitive things. Best offensive line I've had, best roster I've had, Notre Dame or LSU. We're going to win a national championship. All this stuff. I mean, even this week, we're trying to figure out why we don't have that bite, why we don't, aren't animals on the field. We got it figured out. We like it's something they figured out. I mean, I don't even know what he was talking about. And obviously another failed promise. I think all of that together just crippled Brian Kelly in a quick period of time.
They lost too many games, and there were people that decided at some point they didn't like him. I just listened to everything he said, and a lot of that was stuff that he said that got, I thought, kind of blown out of proportion. For instance, he's yelling at his coaches. Okay. Are you mad because he's yelling at his coaches? I'm talking about, as a fan. Or are you mad because you're losing? Because Nick Saban used to yell at his coaches all the time, but they were winning. Okay. It was more to me of the disconnect. I don't want to know why he's asking his offensive coordinator why he's throwing a 3-yard out in the red zone with no timeouts inside of 22 seconds, I believe it was, at the end of the first half. You want to know why that wasn't taken care of when you put the game plan in. What do we have to run in the red zone on third down when we don't have any more timeouts? That's kind of a portion of it. So I think they were upset about that. But mostly I just think that people made up their minds at some point on Brian Kelly, and way, way, way more of them made up their minds. They didn't like him than did.
No SEC championships, no playoffs, no national titles, below 500 on the road, 5-11 versus the top 25, not 11-5. Just think too many things against him, Charles.
He didn't win enough. He did not have a fireable record in a vacuum. Okay. Look at his record versus Billy Napier's record. They were hired the same year to comparable resource universities, LSU and Florida. And Napier's record is below 500 overall and well below 500 in the league. Kelly was 34-14 and 19-10 in league play. That's really not a fireable record in the world we used to know as college football 35 days ago.
Yep.
Okay. It's not a fireable record, but it wasn't what he was hired to do. He was he's hired to win a championship, and he didn't do that. And he wasn't close to doing that. So they moved on.
Who's the next LSU head football coach, Charles? Or kind of maybe just give us a short list that you think's viable, that's real.
Yeah, I think that for sure remove my name from the list, and I think anybody else has got a better chance. But I'm pulling my name out of consideration right now.
All right. Who,
I don't know, Corey. I could give you a list of names, but a list of names is all it would be.
Yeah, yeah. It's just the ones that we're hearing. It's John Sumrall. It's Lane Kiffin. It's those types of guys, right?
I can, like I said, I can throw out a whole bunch of names. I think there's only probably, I'll give you, this is my opinion only.
Yep.
I think there's probably out of the 136 D1 coaches, maybe 20 of them that LSU couldn't hire. They wouldn't take the phone call.
Yeah, give us some of the big give us some of the big names that won't take the phone call. That's a good point, Charlie.
I think Kirby Smart wouldn't take the phone call.
Yep.
I think Ryan Day wouldn't take the phone call. I think Kalen DeBoer wouldn't take the phone call. If you're going to press me on this, I think Dan Lanning probably doesn't take the phone call. He's very comfortable where he is. Steve Sarkisian doesn't take the phone call. But it's a pretty short list, man. It really is.
It's sort of scary. It's like, do you go, with an like Joe Brady, an up and comer, John Sumrall? Do you go with someone more established like Lane Kiffin, Marcus Freeman? Who knows? I guess it's just
there's any number of issues with all of those candidates, starting with the way the calendar falls. If somebody makes the playoffs, okay, if you're interested in a playoff coach, if you're interested in Lane Kiffin or Dan Lanning, who I both think are going to be playoff teams, well, at best, they're going to be done coaching their last game after National Signing Day and about 2 weeks to the portal, and that's if they don't win that game.
Wow.
Okay, if they win that game, then go ahead and push that into January. So you're playing that waiting game with them, or do you say, hey, would you walk away from a playoff team, not a potential playoff team, a playoff team, to come and get us ready for next season? I mean, you got a 1 in 12 shot at a national title. I don't know who walks away from that. So you got a problem with those guys. I don't think Joe Brady is interested in coaching college football. I could be wrong. I know when he left here, he was pretty steadfast about it, wanting to spend, have his future be in the NFL. So I understand why his name is linked because of his time here, but he never struck me as a guy that was looking to return to college. I actually think he's going to be an NFL head coach probably within 2 years, if not next year.
Just to be ridiculous, I got to ask you, because you'll put it to bed in the proper way. Nick Saban.
I don't think he wants. I take him at his word when he said he is not interested in coming out of retirement. I think he retired not because he was. This is my opinion. I think he retired mostly because he did not enjoy operating in this current system, and he's not the only veteran coach to feel that way. They've done things a certain way for 40 plus years. And now you're asking them to go against some of the things that were at the core of what they did, which was, loyalty to the program and going through the process and all that stuff. And this new system just doesn't appeal to them. So I take him at his word when he says he doesn't want to coach again.
Locally, the big names we hear, Lane Kiffin, and you mentioned playoffs. John Sumrall at Tulane, playoffs. There's that could really throw just make it where it can't happen, I guess. I mean, you'd have to have a coach sell out a team going to the playoffs. That just seems very difficult for that to happen, unless there was some coach that's been to the playoffs a whole lot, Charlie. And I don't see that.
Well, it's a hell of a decision to have to make because certain jobs only come along every so often, and maybe where the timing comes up once in a lifetime. So, but if you played with a team and you coached a team all the way from the entire off season all the way through the season, you fight till you get to the playoffs, and it's hard to leave those guys. I mean, it's a heck of a decision. I'm a big John Sumrall fan. I like the way he coaches. I like the way his team plays. I think he's a terrific coach.
Yep, he's got a lot of Saban-esque type qualities as far as discipline and how he approaches it, and a lot more affable than Saban. And he's young. He's 42. He could be there for 20 years. But they really got to hit a grand slam home run. I mean, this has to work. They fired 6 of their last 7 coaches, Charles.
It has to work, or what, Corey? I mean,
they go back to where no, you're right. I mean, in 2 years they'll be rinse and repeat. They'll be doing it all over again.
if the next coach doesn't win, they're not going to shut the football program. They're going to They're going to try again.
Yep.
I mean, but I've heard. I'm making fun. We're old friends, okay? But I hear that a lot. It's like if they don't do it, then what? You know?
No, you're right.
You're gonna try again. It's not like the future of LSU's entire campus, like they're going to come shut the whole thing down or move it to Peoria. Okay, they'll try again. It's important, but just ratchet it down just a touch.
Charlie, I like getting you on. Guy, listen to you and have for decades. And yeah, you're reasonable, common sense. You're not trying to incite. If it happens, it's because that's exactly what you think. No, you tell it like it is, and you're down to earth with it. No, I appreciate that. You're right. They just do it again. They fire him in 2 years and they starts again. You're right on the money.
Well, I've been through 7 of these things, so I'm kind of used to it.
Hey, Charlie, where can folks check you out if they're in New Orleans? How can they do it online?
1045ESPN.com, LouisianaSports.net. We're live stream on either one of those, on demand on either one of those. You can follow me on XC_Hanegraaff, and that's pretty much it.
When are you on live?
11 to 1 Monday through Friday, and I'm still on LSU pre and post game.
Yep.
On Eagle, 5 hours before the game starts and an hour and a half after the game ends.
Nice. Charles Hanegraaff, a pleasure, man. Good talking to you again.
Always good to talk to you, Corey.
Yeah, you're right, Charlie. That's Charlie Hanegraaff up in Baton Rouge, telling it like it is. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday. Don't move. Coming right back.
Lamarck Automotive Collision Center. It's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday, Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Isn't it time to have that dream backyard you've always wanted? LGD Lawn and Landscapes can make it happen with artificial turf installation. Synthetic turf gives you the look and feel of natural grass. You get a beautiful lawn without the ongoing expenses of maintenance and no puddles, meaning you won't be tracking grass or dirt into the house. Let LGD come to your house and give you a free estimate. NOLALGD.com.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Following the facts.
They've done studies, 60% of the time it works every time.
Corey Johnson.
That's about right. Speaking of 60%, taking a 60% haircut was the quote from one of about 3 or 4 sources I talked to, basically verifying that the $53 million buyout for Brian Kelly is down to somewhere in between $20 and $25 million. Kelly has essentially agreed to that. LSU has agreed to that. It's lawyer, agent, people like that, all coming into town, dot the I's, cross the T's. But in the next 24 to 48 hours or so, I'm guessing these terms will be more readily available. There'll be multiple media outlets reporting this. No, the quote was great from one of my sources. He's taken a 60% haircut. Like the $53 million is going to be down to somewhere around $20 to $25 million. And it may be paid all in one payment, like all in one payment, not paying it out over 5 or 6 years. And if Kelly were to get another job in coaching this year, next year, on ESPN, wherever, that money won't be subtracted out of it as the current contract stipulates. So it appears to be a one-time payment of $20+ million that settles the contract with LSU and Brian Kelly. And he's done, and he's free to pursue whatever he wants. Doesn't have to return any money. LSU doesn't have to pay him any more money. On Twitter earlier, I posted $20 million, somewhere between 20 and 25 million. About 24 hours ago, roughly, LSU fired head football coach Brian Kelly after 3.5 seasons, below 500 on the road. About 35%, 33% versus the top 25, 5-11 versus ranked teams, 5-11. I think the promises made and not delivered on this year, especially. I mean, Brian Kelly's been very vocal all year for the last 3-4 months. Best roster I've ever assembled. Great offensive line. Just on and on and on. Just this week, what was it, Mario? We have a major problem, why we're not aggressive, and we figured it out. What was he saying this week?
He kept talking about the physicality like over and over
And
again.
we've solved the problem.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, boy, we went in there and we're eating peanut butter before the game. We needed to be drinking a Gatorade before the game.
Exactly.
There's something like that. Like, almost like, I mean, I'm exaggerating, but it's almost like, you know, we were resting them too much, or we were practicing them too much, or we didn't do enough study on this. I mean, he acted like it was something obvious, and they solved it, and you're going to notice the difference. Am I wrong on what he said this week?
No,
Last week?
I don't think so.
Exactly.
Not
And
at all.
nothing changed.
It just goes back to he really just misevaluated his own team.
No,
like
well, I mean, you could say misevaluate, or he's just full of crap, whatever, just
Or
saying
lying,
the positive
yeah,
stuff. I mean, whatever, you know, but I mean, none of it ever panned out.
No, 100%.
And this week, nothing changed. And then I think last year, the way LSU played A&M, you know, well in the first half, and then third quarter on, they just got ripped. Same thing happened again. Like, it's a repeat of the same TV show versus the same team. And this time it's at your home stadium.
Yes, 100%. That's not good.
I mean, if A&M was ever a team to beat, it's when they're undefeated, you could argue.
No,
like,
for
they're
sure.
due for a loss.
Yeah.
And LSU's desperate, and they're due for a win.
And they kind of own Brian Kelly thinking back. He's 1-3 against Texas A&M, including 0-2 against his coach, who was his coordinator at one point. At Notre Dame.
1-3.
Yeah.
1-3.
Just like the Vanderbilt coach that kicked our butt was his coordinator.
No,
at one time.
year one, coming from 39 scholarship players to making the SEC championship game and Jaden Daniels' emergence. And then year two, him winning the Heisman. It gave Brian Kelly a lot of credibility, and deservedly so.
Yeah.
But then it never kept going up. Year three last year should have been a playoff team. And year four, I'm talking just calendar-wise, not the team.
No, that's reasonable.
And then year four, it should be definitely a playoff team and shooting for the national championship. And one could argue it's going backwards.
At least a playoff team, man.
At least a playoff team in 4 years.
Miss me with all the current, like, be a top 12 team. At LSU, that's not being, I'm realistic, you know me. That's not being an entitled LSU fan.
No,
Like,
it's not.
A top 12 ranking is not too much.
Playoffs every other year at worst.
Yes.
At worst.
Yes, exactly.
And that almost might not be acceptable enough. If you're going every other year, after like 6-8 years of that, they may get tired of that.
100%.
I mean, you heard Scott Woodward, Brought him in to win SEC championships and national championships, and neither happened. No playoffs.
Nope. And give Kelly a lot of props on the day like today. That's hard, but give him a lot of credit. When he came in, he did a really good job of cleaning things up.
They had 39 scholarship players.
Yeah.
The program was in, 2 500 seasons, basically.
But now the next guy is going to face that same challenge, and the transfer portal is even more volatile these days.
No, and I mentioned it earlier, Mario. I'm not trying to beat a dead horse. I've been pounding this fact, but I haven't heard it anywhere else, and it's mind-blowing. This last year in the transfer portal, number one class, all the money spent, that wasn't a positive. It was an alarm. My God, dude, you're in year 4. You haven't recruited well enough where you have depth at every position, where you have backup players that are viable. The transfer portal's for when some backup player on your team wants to go play somewhere else. Then you transfer portal in the equal and opposite.
Exactly.
It's not to fill in 6-7 starters like they did. No, it's unbelievable.
Can't live that way. And you've lost some good players too.
No.
Had a left tackle that's starting at Tennessee right now. Who's retired.
Exactly. The transfer portal's not to build your team. It's to supplement
He
your
just
team.
is not the best recruit. He's a really good tactical coach. Like, he's coached a lot of guys that are in the NFL, but even going back to Notre Dame, he's never been the best recruiter. Like, who's one guy that he coached in Notre Dame that's like a superstar in the NFL
he gets
right
a top 5, top 10 recruiting class every year, but are you filling the needs of your team?
Exactly.
I go get 6 wide receivers every year. I got great wide receivers, but I need O linemen and D line.
Not even that. He's just not even getting like the best of the best.
No, he's not. And he's not getting 4 and 5 star D and offensive linemen by the truckloads each and every class.
Yes,
every class you get O linemen and D linemen. Every class.
The one guy got like that was out of the portal in Jaden Daniels.
Yep.
Everybody
else, and that's a QB.
Exactly.
And at QBs, you can get high quality QBs through the transfer portal if you have a viable team.
I'm not one to toot my own horn, Corey, but we made predictions for the season. I said 8-4.
Yeah, you did.
I kind of
No,
outlaid
you're right.
the things that ended up happening.
You nailed it. You nailed it.
I was wrong about the Saints.
No, but I got you covered on that. I picked the under, if you remember. I said the sucker bets the over.
You did.
And they're cruising right into 3 wins or so, right in that under. That's Blue Boy barking up a storm. Mario Brothers did pick LSU 8-4. I told you the whole wrong thing. I was like, my heart says 10-2. My brain says 9-3. Should have gone with Mario Brothers 8-4. That's Blue Boy saying stick around. A lot more coming your way. 5 o'clock powwow now.
On the neutral ground with Corey Johnson. On TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube. On radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM. WSLA New Orleans.
It's 5 p.m.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line. Lebanon's Cafe.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance
convenience. Total maintenance key. OTM-JC.com. They'll prove spots.
South Shore residents that love good food are making the short trip across the lake to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. North Shore folks have known about Gallagher's 527 for years. Now the South Shore has discovered this hidden gem. One of the metro area's best restaurants is less than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets.
Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, INSagency.com. Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, INSagency.com.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now.
Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Here we go. The 5 o'clock power hour coming your way. Corey Johnson with you. Live from one of the greatest cities on the planet. I like it a lot. Number 9 is absolutely correct. It is New Orleans. A fantastic place to live, shop, and eat. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latin X. We're politically correct on this program. By golly. He's fielding your phone calls. 766-9480. If you missed the last hour, you missed a lot. A couple of 30-plus year veterans of sports talk in Baton Rouge. New Orleans' own Jimmy Ott. He's actually in town. It's his birthday today. He's dining in the CBD. Happy birthday, Jimmy. Thanks for joining us in the 4 o'clock hour. His longtime sidekick, Charlie Hennegriff, joined us a little while after Jimmy. You can check that out on our Twitter at Corey Johnson or on YouTube. The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson on YouTube. Click to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Doesn't cost a nickel. Or follow us on Twitter at Corey Johnson. Corey spelled K-A-A-R-E. That's right. It's Scandinavian. Danish. 766-9480. LSU fires head football coach Brian Kelly about 24 hours ago. Done after 3.5 seasons. Below 500 on the road. That's unacceptable at LSU for 3+ years. Around 35% versus the top 25. Can you believe that? Not 11-5, 5-11 versus the top 25. It's beyond unacceptable in Baton Rouge. Scott Woodward, the AD, said after the Texas A&M game, he decided to fire Brian Kelly. I don't quite believe that Scott Woodward had the total say on that. I don't think Scott Woodward has autonomy. There's no LSU president. The president would be involved. So Jeff Landry got involved. And then I think Jeff Landry gave Scott Woodward the green light. But I don't think Woodward says it like he has autonomy. It was his choice exclusively, and he fired the coach. I don't believe that. But if you wanted the coach fired, the end result is he was fired. But I think Jeff Landry was very much involved in that. Jeff Landry, his ideology not only matches Donald Trump, he likes putting his fingerprints on everything. And like Huey Long, very involved in this firing. I think a couple of things stand out to me. The promises made all year long, there were many of them, from great offensive line to best roster I've ever assembled at LSU or Notre Dame. Just this week, why haven't we been aggressive? Well, we figured out why. It's this one thing, and we corrected it, and you'll notice the difference. What could it be? One thing. That's just such a crazy promise. And like the others, did not deliver. I think it just got tiring. About 6 promises or so all season long about greatness, about winning, about prepared, and we're ready to beat A&M. I think coupled with him blowing up during the game at coaches, at players, just sort of losing control of himself and maybe losing the team and the coaches. And then a rinse and repeat. A&M last year, it was an SEC showdown. It was a battle at College Station until somewhere in the third quarter. And then A&M just took off like a rocket ship and planted LSU into the ground. Back on Saturday, exact same thing. Come third quarter, what was a close battle became an A&M blowout, 35 unanswered points. I think last year was like 21 unanswered. It's obnoxious. So that rinse and repeat, just Texas A&M, same opponent, same result, same, catastrophe. Just total implosion in the second half, I think, all added to this. Defensive coordinator Joe Sloan fired as well today. Frank Wilson, New Orleans native, the running back coach, the recruiting guru. He is now the interim head coach, New Orleans' own St. Aug grad, former Carr state champion coach from about 20 years ago. Frank Wilson, interim head coach in Baton Rouge. I had a couple of sources today get in touch with me. I was trying to get in touch with them. Had a couple more essentially verify these first 2 sources. One said Brian Kelly's taking a, quote, 60% haircut on his buyout. Like the $53 million buyout, in the next day or so, it should be announced. It's going to be somewhere between 20 and 25 million. I don't know. I shouldn't say it's going to be announced. I don't know if LSU will, quote, announce it, but word will leak out with more mainstream media, folks that cover this team, 46826, Times-Picayune, etc., verifying what I'm telling you today, what I posted on my X on my Twitter at Corey Johnson. No, taking a 60% haircut, the $53 million buyout, somewhere around $20 million. I posted $20 million on Twitter. Had some sources call me after the post saying, you're in the neighborhood. It's more like 24, 25 million. Somewhere between 20 and 25 million will be the final figure that LSU pays Brian Kelly. Still ridiculously significant, more than they paid Ed Ogeron, and that 17 million was obnoxious. It's a lot of money. I mean, it's like 40 million bucks in buyouts. No, a moral clause, some moral turpitude was implemented in these negotiations. Essentially, LSU and Brian Kelly have settled. It's getting the agent in town, attorneys, dotting I's, crossing T's, but it's done. And for like 40, 45 cents on the dollar, I think when it's all said and done, I feel very, very confident under 50% of the reported $53 million buyout. And a lot of folks, I'm not going to sit there and reply to everybody, but folks that do it for a living, that are full-time, covering sports, covering LSU, are refuting what I'm saying. It all comes out in the wash. That's a beautiful thing. Reputation on the line. No, I'm not a big story breaker. I'm not a big reporter anymore. I'm not a big, sources. But when they basically fall in my lap, when I go out and seek a few people and then they respond and tell me things they know, and I know these people from decades, and they're like 10 for 10, 20 for 20. They're not wrong. So you'll see in the next few days, very confident on these sources, plural, that Brian Kelly's taking 20 million bucks and hitting the road, 23 million, 25 million, less than 50% of the reported $53 million buyout. LSU has fired 6 of their last 7 coaches. Archer, Curly Hallman, DiNardo, Miles, Ogeron, Kelly. Only the man in the middle of those 6, Nick Saban, leaving on his own. 766-9480. Yeah, Governor Jeff Landry, very involved. Scott Woodward saying after the A&M loss, I knew I was going to fire Brian Kelly. I decided then. I don't think so. That may have been when Scott Woodward is not lying. Maybe that's when he decided, but he doesn't have autonomy when there's no LSU president. And Jeff Landry didn't get involved to sit on the sideline of a meeting and watch. He could have done that anytime. He got involved. He gave Woodward, LSU, the green light to fire Brian Kelly. Hell, Jeff Landry might have even been the major mover on that one. Let's go. You guys don't seem sure about it. I'm the governor, and I'm sure about it. Let's move. 766-9480. 766-9480. There are already odds out there. Mario Brothers, you saw these odds on who's going to be the next LSU coach?
No, let me hear it.
Sumrall's like the leader at 3-2. He's plus 150.
Really?
Like he's the leader on one like online betting site.
That's interesting.
Then it's Joe Brady. I'm just giving him in order.
Okay.
Lane Kiffin, James Franklin, Eli Drinkwitz, Jeff Brome, Brent Key, Jimbo Fisher, Clark Lee, Marcus Freeman, Urban Meyer, Rhett Lastly, John Gruden, Kenny Dillingham, Lincoln Riley, Dabo Sweeney, Dan Mullen. I mean, that's a big list. And it's like 50-1, 75-1. Then there's another one. Sumrall plus 150, Brady plus 200, Lane Kiffin plus 400. This other site has the same 3 in a row for the first 3. Sumrall, Brady, and Kiffin. Then James Franklin, Drinkwitz, Brome, Key, Jimbo Fisher plus 1,800. But John Sumrall appears to be like the favorite right now for the LSU head coaching gig. And Lane Kiffin, Mario, it's like, does he want to leave Ole Miss or not?
Yeah.
John Sumrall, I think the right fit would leave Tulane. It's not like Lane Kiffin's looking for the right fit to leave Ole Miss.
Yeah, I think so. It makes sense.
He could.
It definitely makes sense for Sumrall to go. You can make an argument. Doesn't make sense for LSU to get Sumrall.
One could say still too green, not proven enough, all that kind of thing.
But
also, are you missing out on a once-in-a-generational coach that could be there 20 years?
Exactly.
20 years.
Yeah, you might benefit LSU to take some form of risk, with their next hire. But
right. And then Charlie Hennegreth said it so well. I'm saying, man, they got to get this one right. It's like, they do. He's like, they don't get it right, they fire him and move on. And Charlie's exactly right. The program's not going anywhere.
but you don't want to become Auburn. Like look what's happened to Auburn.
You're right. I don't think Auburn's trying to be Auburn, but they are.
They've just become diluted. Like it's going to be harder now.
Yeah.
Like we said, the same situation Brian Kelly inherited, this next coach is going to inherit. And with each coach you get fired, the reputation gets worse and worse, and it becomes harder to get back to that mountaintop.
No, you're right.
Like we said, Auburn's been irrelevant for a long time now because they went through that.
That's Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latinx. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday afternoon. Brian Kelly fired as LSU coach.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-JC.com, your cool spots.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday, Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City. It's Corey Johnson on the neutral ground.
Roll call.
Kenner, Metairie, Harahan, River Ridge, Algiers, Gretna, Harvey, Terrytown, West Wego. We got you covered.
Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson back at you. Charlie Hennegriff joined us last hour. Mario, I thought he made a great point. You know, LSU kind of pulling a ready, fire, aim. Like they don't have any kind of solution. It's not like they're firing Brian Kelly and Lane Kiffin's already agreed. They're simply firing Brian Kelly because they had to, and they're hoping they're LSU, and that still means something where, you know, arguably it's the most coveted job in college football. And I think they can go out and get just about anyone. I don't know. I think they didn't have the luxury to have someone already lined up. To have someone already lined up, you'd have to have Jimbo Fisher agreeing, and I don't think anyone would really want Jimbo Fisher at this point. Or you'd have to have like Nick Saban agreeing already. Someone like that, like a coach that's available. And I don't see John Sumrall leaving Tulane if they make the playoffs to coach LSU, so they'd have to wait, and that means recruiting class in jeopardy, transfer portal in jeopardy. Lane Kiffin, Ole Miss makes the playoffs. It's not waiting. You know, he's going to want to coach that team. So LSU's sort of in a precarious spot. They may be forced to go to their second choice or third choice, and it might be a coach that his team's not in the playoffs. And then you're getting a coach that's not in the playoffs, sort of a catch-22. And no matter how big LSU's program is and how great the potential is, I mean, it's almost a plug and play. You get a great coach, you get a very good to great coach, your chances of winning are great at LSU. But there are no guarantees. There are no guarantees. Replacing a coach is very, very difficult. Another good point Charlie made, only 2 times in college football history have you had 3 consecutive coaches win national championships, like LSU with Nick Saban, Les Miles, Ed Ogeron, 3 in a row. He mentioned Miami, which I guess is Howard Schnellenberger, Jimmy Johnson, and Larry Coker. those 3 in a row. Yeah, it's just very, very rare where look at Tulane, not winning a national title, but Willie Fritz, viable program, made Tulane top 25, top 30 program. John Sumrall, keeping it going, top 25, top 30 program. 3 in a row at Miami, 3 in a row at LSU. Will Tulane be able to replace John Sumrall? C company, that air conditioning company, fixed right or it's free. What are you telling me? fixed right or it's free. Like you don't repair it like you're supposed to. Like it's not fixed. I don't have to pay for it. Fixed right or it's free. Yeah, no doubt. Fixed right or it's free. I get that. I get that. So until the I's are dotted, the T's are crossed, and the contract signed for the buyout, Kelly will keep getting paid. Thank you very much. Let me guess, when you're thirsty, you'll drink fluids. The I's aren't dotted. The T's aren't crossed yet. Attorneys, agent need to come into town and sign off on this deal. But in the next 24 hours, 48 hours, it will be signed off on. Or soon. And it is already agreed upon. Kelly will get a buyout of 20 to 25 million. Now, I read a national guy saying Kelly's going to get 750 grand a month for the next till 2031. No, he's not. Nowhere near that. That's just his contract right now. About 750, 800 grand a month, 850 a month. It's more like 830, something like that, 825 a month, 830,000 a month for 10 years, for the next 6 years. Taking a 60% haircut. Like I said, I feel very, very confident from multiple sources that in the next few days, we'll know what Kelly's buyout is, and it'll be less than 50% of $53 million. Somewhere between $20 and $25 million. There's talk that like it's going to be paid up front as well. Like it is an agreement and it's paid in one check and it's over with, not some long-term payout. That means Brian Kelly's free to go get another job, and LSU isn't expecting money back on, what they pay him minus his new salary. That's what the present contract says. If the buyout's $53 million, he get paid out over X amount of time till the contract ends in 2031, and any new job he gets in coaching or television. And according to the contract, he has to proactively seek employment. That money would be subtracted out of the contract. I remember the Pelicans' old coach. Who was the coach before Willie Green?
Stan Van Gundy, right?
Well, no, he was the GM. Who was the coach? Oh, it might have been Van Gundy for a second.
Stan Van Gundy.
No,
Alvin
the old
Gentry.
Alvin Gentry.
Yeah, Alvin Gentry was before Stan Van.
Gentry got fired. He went to Sacramento as an assistant.
Yes.
According to his contract, he kept all the buyout money. Or not the buyout, the contract would be paid in full. It was guaranteed, and none of it subtracted out with the new employer. Now, if you remember, probably don't remember this, Mario, but Mike Ditka gets fired by Benson and the Saints.
Yes.
And Benson had a problem. Ditka wasn't sending him his pay stubs from like Fox or CBS.
Yeah, I remember this.
And he's like, I'm not paying you until you tell me what I need to subtract out of what I'm paying you.
Yes.
Because that was part of the deal. And then Ditka finally had to send over the money's getting paid, and the Saints would subtract that out of what he had to pay him. Alvin Gentry did not have that clause. So he went to Sacramento as assistant, got paid X amount of dollars, and none of it was subtracted out what the Saints had to keep paying him, or the Pelicans, excuse me.
Yes.
From what I understand, Kelly will just get a one-time check of 20 to 25 mil and walk. And he can go take a job the next day, and none of it needs to be subtracted out. He keeps the full amount. And it's paid in one sum, not over time. That's from what I understand. Now, the 60% haircut, that's more sources telling me that. The other thing is some saying that, some don't know how it's going to work out. What are you thinking, Mario Brothers?
What am I thinking about?
Yeah, you just got the mic by your mouth. I'm thinking you want to say something.
Not in particular. I mean, I'm agreeing with everything you're saying.
You were satisfied that Kelly was fired, or you think that was a bad move?
No, I'm satisfied. It was the right move. I kind of saw it coming before the season. If this would have happened, I wouldn't have thought it happened before the season ended, But given the current state of things, given the scene on Saturday night, yeah, I think.
Why? What current circumstances? What's seen on Saturday night?
He's just lost.
And
the
what?
team.
And the third thing, what before the season started make you think he was heading out the door?
This same thing last year. The loss last night was exactly like carbon copy of the loss to Alabama, and they lost to Florida last year, who fired their coach. So I didn't see the progress.
I didn't see one quality win this year either.
For
Coming right
game-changing
back.
innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, INSagency.com. Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, INSagency.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live, we live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City. Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
South Shore residents that love good food are making the short trip across the lake to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. North Shore folks have known about Gallagher's 527 for years. Now the South Shore has discovered this hidden gem. One of the metro area's best restaurants is less than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets. The official afternoon talk show of the city of New Orleans. It's Corey Johnson on the neutral ground.
You can say anything you please about me, but don't say anything bad about Blue Boy.
Down, Blue Boy. Good buddy. Yeah, you're right. Blue Boy is a good buddy. You can say disparaging things about me, but don't say disparaging things about old Blue Boy. He's a good buddy. Totally. My Australian Shepherd made 13 a week ago, and you don't care. Thanks for joining us on a Monday afternoon. 766-9480 is the phone number. Gorgeous day in New Orleans, blue skies and sunny. I think the same thing going down in BR, Baton Rouge. Head football coach of the Louisiana State University and Agricultural and Mechanical College Tigers, Brian Kelly, fired about 24 hours ago, done after 3.5 seasons. Taking a 60% haircut from sources I've talked to, plural sources. The $53 million buyout will end up being around $20, $23, $25 million. I feel very confident in the next few days when mainstream media releases those numbers, it'll be under 50% of the 53 million, somewhere between 20 and 25 million. LSU officials from what I understand, sources telling me, played hardball with Brian Kelly, trying to negotiate this deal down and then injecting this moral turpitude, this moral clause in his contract, and Kelly settling for less money. And who knows how this is going to work out as far as, will it be paid over time? Will it be one lump sum? From some people I'm talking to, some sources feel it'll be